Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the LMG studios here in New York City. The players are live here in studio for the round of 16 of WCS America. Of course, we're currently in the middle of our winner's match between Liquid Snute and Axiom's Alicia, and they're currently tied 1-1 going into a deciding game number 3.
And man, Snute pulled an epic comeback in that second game. He was really a base down for a good chunk of that game, and how often you see a Zerg play a base down against a Protoss who has Blink Stalkers. They have Colossi, they have Templar. It's not like the Protoss is on low tech. Alicia had pretty much all the techs. But Snute was able to win just by perfect engagements. Always getting the best concave. And because he had the great concave, that allowed Vipers the angles they needed to get those great abducts off. And just amazing play by Snute. And after that second game, I think
anything can happen.
Yeah.
Snute definitely is able to take out Alicia, but can Alicia hold on and advance to the next round? We're going to find out right now, guys. The game number 3 is on Cloud Kingdom. This is the decider. If you haven't already, get on Twitter, get on Reddit, get on Team Liquid. Talk about these games. Who do you think is going to win? But here we are in Game 3. Top right-hand location, we have the red Protoss player hailing from Korea and representing Team Axiom. He is Alicia. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location, representing Team Liquid, trying to become one of the only non-Koreans to be in the round of 8 of WCS America. Hailing from Norway, he is Snute. Shout out to any Europeans who are staying up late with us on this glorious Monday evening. I hope you decide to do so each and every day this week, Monday through Thursday. We start at 6 p.m. Eastern. I think is like maybe midnight in Europe. 11 p.m.
Central. It's midnight for Central European time.
Right.
Which is the majority of the population of Europe. It's on that time zone.
Yes.
So going forward, we see Snute again going to pool before hatch. Of course, the safer play on a 2-spawn map. You never want to have that probe block that hatchery if your opponent happened to scout a little bit faster. You know, I feel like if Snute plays like he did last game, he's going to be in a great position to go for and take this. And I think he's going to have an easier time defending his third base on Cloud Kingdom than he did on Neoplanet S. On the other hand, if he goes to that Stormhost play, Cloud Kingdom is a map where there's so many angles to defend, similar to what we saw on Belshir. And that's a situation where you really, Alicia kind of abused that fact to always catch a Stormhost off guard on Belshir. And is Snute going to say, you know what, he seems so good against Stormhost play, but the Roach Hydra Viper worked out great on Neoplanet. And this is a map that I would think is even easier to play the Roach Hydra Viper style. There's so many more situations to set up those great concaves and use the abducts around cliffs. I think thinking back on how the last 2 games went, Snute's going to say, you know what, let's do a repeat of game number 2. That one went a little bit better.
And remember how Game 2 started with the Zealots almost chopping away that third base, Snute having to throw away a lot of drones to protect that location. So I know I keep harping on it, but this might be another situation where Snute really needs to stay on top of that third pylon. Alicia loves the little gateway aggression with, a potential Stargate follow-up. So I would expect Snute to really be aware of that. Of course, if we remember Alicia versus Sen, this is the map that was pretty crazy for both players. Expansions kept getting denied left and right. So we'll have to see if Alicia decides to go for a void ray centered composition like he did against Sen.
It's something I feel like he is. That's his, keystone play, at least so far today.
Yeah.
That along with those proxy pawns you're talking about. And again, this probe's in a spot. Oh, the Zerging is on a rally point to see it.
Let's see if he sticks to that rally point or if he decides to deviate from what his master has told him. But again, Snute being very cautious of the existence of that probe, desperately searching around.
Alicia is the master of this. A year ago, it was all about hot-cutting pylons.
Yep.
But after watching today, it might be about Alicia because this guy, he hasn't yet failed to get a proxy pylon up.
Yep,
and
you're absolutely right.
Every single game he's played, he's always gotten that proxy pylon up.
This thing is not going to that location.
Such an important part of Zerg vs. Protoss. If your Protoss opponent goes for the gateways before tech, they really want to get some damage done or at least force you to make extra units. And they can only do so with a proxy pylon. So it's super important to be absolutely diligent with your scouting.
Now, Ling's sneaking inside to the main base of Alicia. Again, no forge, no cannon here, so he's going to identify how fast this warp gate is, identifying 3 gateways as well. But again, he still has not identified this pylon, so it's fine and all being able to see what exactly is going on, but it could still be a dangerous situation if your opponent is able to get enough zealots up. However, we already have a lot of Lings on the way here for Snute, so we'll have to see if he can cost efficiently fend off this aggression.
Right at this point, he could still find a pylon and take it out when there's only a few zealots. It's really when there's 6 zealots that it's harder for Desertings to deal with it. Is he going to find that pylon, though?
He's going to see the zealots, so he's going to swing
that's gonna
all
give
of
it
his
away.
things down. And now he should know exactly where that pylon is, the hatchery.
Trying to... Okay, I'm about to say, is he really going to try to counter?
I mean, it's possible with the cannon, but if your opponent warps in a zealot to complete the wall, it's fine. Speed has kicked in here for Snute, trying to defend against these zealots that are assailing this third base. Mothership Gorgon doing a lot of damage from above. Queen trying to target that guy down, but Snute doing a great job here, taking down the zealots, but he still needs to identify that pylon. And I think this push has been held.
It's so big to kill the zealots before their number gets large. Speedings do very well when the numbers are small, and killing those 3 zealots is a huge deal because now Alicia is not going to be able to warp in enough. Snoot's going to have too many units by the time Alicia can get 6-7 zealots to really make a significant difference. Beautiful play by Snute there, catching it just in the nick of time, and this is much more efficient than what we saw last game, where he had to pull so many drones to keep that third base alive.
Oh, Snute going for a counterattack. Plenty of sentries though. That's not going to happen. I like how Alicia is keeping that Mothership Core near that pylon, because again, what shoots up in this location? The Queens are going to have to march across to try to take down this Mothership Core. So the Mothership Core is safe to say could even recall back and save these zealots, but looks like he's not going to do that. Getting a lot of damage done with this Mothership Core, but the Ling is trying to take down this pylon.
Very cost-efficient trade by Alicia, but Snute really wants to get rid of this pylon just so he doesn't have to worry about more warp-ins and a potential mass cell attack later down the road. So while, yes, he lost a lot of speedings, it was definitely worth it because now he knows, okay, that was a proxy pylon. I got rid of that. As long as I'm confident there's no other proxy pylons, there's no potential threat, at least that can hit me without me looking at it as it crosses the map and having a little bit more reaction time.
Now, Snute has not been able to identify the Stargate just yet, but I guess it could be something he can guess is coming based on how Alicia has been playing today. He did spot the 2 gases at his opponent's natural expansion, so it's a little bit of a guessing game, but we'll have to see how Snute proceeds to play this game. I mean, we have +1 missile on the way, +1 carapace, a Roach-born on the way as well, so it seems like fairly standard stuff, really focusing on his economy at this point in time.
Alicia wants to get that third base up now that he has enough sentries. He can go ahead and start sending it up. And notice how he positions the sentries. He always has them very near the cliff edge. So if potentially, 20 speedings came by, he could defend with minimal use of force fields. Now again, putting them in a small choke. That's exactly what you want to do. Of course, this is the tricky part of a third base when you're making air units. You don't have that many ground units, so you have to be very efficient with the ones you have.
It looks like Snute might just apply a little bit of aggression, but I think he might let this go down. However, he might try to run by into the natural. That could be huge. A probe is there, but he's not able to block it. Snute gets into the main base. This is huge for Snute, heading straight for that main base, not deviating any links, sending a couple links to that natural expansion. But I wonder if he tries to target the Nexus. No, just going to go for probes. Probably a wise decision. Oh no, he's going to target the Nexus. Can he get this Nexus?
The Nexus, I think the Nexus is dead, honestly.
Gosh.
I mean, Photon Overcharge is killing those Zerglings, but it's taking so much damage. The Natural, some probes went down as well. Oh, he actually stopped targeting Nexus. Now it's going to live, actually.
Will it though? The sentry's throwing on the force field. Snute, with a moment of hesitation, is not going to be able to get the Nexus. The Nexus down to 172 HP. Again, he took a moment to change his target fire to his opponent's probes. Now, obviously, this is still all a win for Snute. It's all really good for him. But if he could have taken down that Nexus, that's a situation where Alicia could be in a position where it might be impossible to come back.
Well, he says I didn't get the main. Let's check out the third. Another attempt at this third Nexus. This one, though, not quite enough. Actually, yeah, I think Alicia should defend this. Oh, going for the sentries.
Around onto the sentries, forcing those force fields out, and oh my god, taking down two sentries so far. A third getting taken down by a couple Lings in the middle of all those force fields. Snute doing a great job being so annoying across the map with these speedlings. Meanwhile, a Spore Crawler desperately trying to defend that third base from Snute. But Snute, I think he's looking pretty good in this game.
If he can hold this fourth, he's in great shape. Also, note, it's super important that he's going to Hive Tech. Knowing his opponent's going Void Ray Colossi, Vipers are essential.
Oh, the Lings going to that third base once again. Plenty of Zealots there. A Sentry might get targeted down here. One Sentry getting warped in, but dying immediately there by Snute. Again, he's been focusing on the missile attack upgrades, so he doesn't have any melee attack upgrades. I wonder how devastating this game would be if that were the case. But a Colossus is on the field here for Alicia. We have the Hive just now finishing, and 4 Vipers underway. So it looks like both these players going to take a breath, set up their forces, but I think Snute is in a solid position.
He is. He still has a lot of money in the bank. As soon as he gets some overlords on the field, he can produce massive amounts of Roaches and Hydras. And Roach Hydra Viper is so efficient against Protoss, Void Ray, Colossi combinations. I mean, we saw last game, Snute was able to dismantle that combination while being a base down. And this game, he's been a base up the entire game, or for the majority of it. Oh, but the Phoenix, actually, if he kills the Viper in the main base.
That's pretty annoying. Queen's starting to target down the Phoenix, and the Phoenix will get taken out.
That Viper got nervous. Okay, got the transfuse, so it's gonna be a little happy.
Yep.
But yeah, this is gonna be a very difficult attack for Alicia to defend. He's gonna have to rely on just. I actually don't know. He's gonna have to basically somehow find a way to neutralize the abducts. And I mean, he's trying to go to Templar as fast as possible. He's recognized the build of Snute, and so he's not going double robo like the last game. Just single robo, teching a Templar as fast as possible. But there's still some time before the Templar Archives finish, and Snute is already moving across the map with Vipers full of energy, with Roaches and Hydras.
Snute knows his timing. He knows he has to hit. He knows he can take this game right here, right now. Just has to handle this engagement properly. Abduct the Colossi, abduct the Void Rays, let the Hydras do their damage, let the Roaches do their damage, deny this third base and go for the win. Snute is going for it right now, coming up the ramp, targeting down the pylons. The Vipers looking for the abducts, sees the Void Rays. There we go, the abducts onto the Colossi, and those guys are going to get shredded in a matter of seconds. Still has yet to abduct the Void Ray. It doesn't even matter, the Hydra's taking that guy out. Another Colossus abducted, and Snute taking control of this game. Blinding Cloud even going onto Sentries, and the cannon, hilariously enough, Snute targeting down this third base, and Snute's going to take it out.
The 13 range Photon Overcharge was actually a melee range there where the Blinding Cloud was on. A very creative use of Blinding Cloud there to mitigate that.
Oh
and,
my god.
I mean, this is it. Just Roaches are rallying everywhere. Blinding Cloud's so great against Photon Cannons and a stack defense of Alicia. Alicia's going to hold on.
Snute does it. Alicia throws down the GG, and Snute gets the 2-1 victory, coming back from being down 1-0 2 matches in a row. First, against the powerhouse Nesty, Snute says, you know what, no problem. And then going up against Alicia, going down 1-0, but winning 2 in a row. And Snute is your first player in WCS America to advance to the round of 8.
What a beautiful performance by the Norwegian Zerg there. Absolutely amazing use of speed leans, of Vipers, of you know, using Roach Hydra at the high tech. He wasn't trying to overwhelm his opponent with the lair tech. You know, he respected Alicia's force fields. He saw Alicia against Sen on Whirlwind, where Alicia's force fields were picture perfect, said, you know what? If I'm going to use Roach Hydra, it's got to be with the Viper support. And man, did he play that combination to a T.
Oh, wow, what a fantastic performance here from Snute on day number 1. Again, spent some time in Korea in the EGTL Pro League house up there, traveled over here recently, and able to take 2 2-1 victories. He will be your first to move on to the round of 8. Congrats to him, guys. Stay tuned. You're watching WCS America. We have 3 players left in this group: Alicia, Sen, and Nesty. Only one can move on to join Snute in the round of 8, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back with an interview with Snute and some analysis.